Welcome everybody. Today I'll be bringing you along with me as I install cedar panels to my entire living room and kitchen in my RV. I'll also be adding trim and framing the windows along with creating these really beautiful curved panels that will go on the windows as well. I started by using these super lightweight 1/4 inch cedar panels. The first thing you're going to do is let your wood acclimate for 72 hours wherever you're going to be installing it. I started by working on the largest sections first to optimize my wood. I'm using liquid nails to apply on the board before nailing it with my 18 gauge brad nailer and 1-inch nails. I borrowed my sister's miter saw to cut the boards to size and eventually had to buy a jigsaw because working in RVs, there's going to be so many windows and cabinets that are in the way that you have to work around, and so you'll have to make very specific cuts. Guys, it's not perfect, but it works. I initially rented a battery-powered brad nailer and foolishly thought I could do all of this in one day, but that was not the case. Hi! So it is like 10 days later. I had to take a break. It was kind of, life was a lot, but I'm back. I am ready. Hopefully we can get most of the walls done today so we can move on and do the trim and all that fun stuff and make it look good. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing. I'll be fixing a couple mistakes that I made last time. So let me show you that real quick. In the previous video, I spent so long trying to get this straight cut with my jigsaw and I did not do it right. I know that. And I was like, it doesn't matter what it looks like on the top because I'm going to cover this part up anyway. But then I totally forgot that this part does matter because the boards are going to lay on top of that and this has to be straight in order for the rest to be straight. So now I have to pry the board off. Here. Thankfully, my sister had an air compressor and a brad nailer, so I used that for the rest of the project. Guys, I figured it out. Yay! So I finally found a video that explained it. So if you don't know, you're just gonna... Whoa! You're gonna pull this little part back, I guess the female part. And once you pull it back, you can stick in your nail gun part and then put it right back up and it'll stay. And then I did not even see that switch there. I was literally looking everywhere for something and it was right there hiding, but I filled it to 80 psi, so hopefully I think that's enough. Okay, so I was a little worried to do this part because this slide isn't out all the way because there's an RV blocking it, another RV. So I know you're supposed to do this whenever it's level, but honestly, if I just line the boards up exactly with the floor, even though I know it's slanted right now, whenever it goes all the way out, it will look level. It'll be level, so. These panels are tongue and groove, so the application process was really easy as they just fit into one another. This was honestly the biggest project that I've ever done to my RV, and it took me about 3 months. Mainly because life just kept getting in the way, and this was a lot to do on my own. Okay, this is today's progress. My gosh, I got so much done. Almost this whole wall is done. And half of that one and half of this one, which took me like a few hours, so pretty proud of myself. Here I am using the boards that I had left over from the cuts I made earlier to optimize my wood. Okay, a little update on this part that I did a while back. I need to take it off anyway because this is just not gonna work out. That looks so bad, and yeah, I'm just gonna take it off, do it right now that I figured out how to do this with my jigsaw. Yep, I'll fix it right Now, just want to give a little tip, which also just comes along with, you know, learning and doing this for the first time. But I found the most efficient way to work is to just cut out all your boards to size, as many as you can. So take the measurements and everything, cut them out, and here I'll show you. So I've got all my boards. Those go here, these go here. I've got these stacked up and ready to go for the sides of the window. And then I just finished cutting these for this side. Then I'll glue and nail all at the same time. So all of these will be done at once. Before I was just going, doing one segment at a time. So this just makes the workflow easier and faster. And then after I glue all those down, then I can take the measurements for the top parts and figure those out. This is what I was talking about with having to make very specific cuts in your RV. I had to make this custom board that fit perfectly in this little spot in my kitchen. Kind of messed up on the curved part, but it'll work. The difference between this side and this side is crazy. It's like a whole new place. Like, just ignore the, you know, it just looks so cottagey and hobbitcore. So for the AC and furnace control panel, I was a little nervous about accidentally hitting a wire in the walls because I really didn't know how the wires were laid out in my RV. So for this reason, I just chose to use liquid nails and just held it firmly for a while, and it's held up pretty good. I just want y'all to see how much of a struggle it is to measure correctly for an RV. So I'm trying to create a piece here. And this side, it's about about 2 inches. You go in the middle, it's about 2.5, and then on this side it's much bigger, a little over 2.5. So even if you measure everything right, the RV itself is not straight. Nothing is straight about RVs. And guys, I'm slightly freaking out. My walls are done. Well, I still had to do like the trimming and the molds or molding, or the window frames. But as far as the window panels, they're done. So today I'll be working on the trim that is going to be going around like the tops and the corners and other places like the door. I just want to show you how I got this trim. My uncle cut this wood for me because he has a table saw. We ended up getting just one board, one 8-foot 1x4, and he made some really thin cuts. I don't know if you can tell, but I'll show you this side. So probably just super small cuts. I went with a water-based stain that was the color Classic Oak. I will say that if you decide to stain, you will lose the natural scent that the cedar wood has, which smells amazing. But for me, it was worth it and just really tied everything together. Watch love, how all of the light just falls through your window. Guys, this is so pretty. Oh my god, my fingers. But like, look how pretty for selfies. Like, I look crazy right now, but I just love the warm hue, you know? Before I could apply the window frames, I really wasn't happy with the black window panes that I had, so I decided to paint them this really pretty copper color. If you decide to use spray paint, this process can be very tedious because you do have to block everything off with the masking film. Guys, it's so pretty. Hey guys, so the next step before we put the boards on the slide windows is creating the arches for them. So there is no real tutorial that I'm following for this. I simply just saw a picture I loved. I literally fell in love with it, and I think it was a van build, but you know, if it can be done in a van, it can be done in an RV. So I really want to make this work. Hopefully I have enough extra wood to use to put across the boards. But yeah, we're just gonna figure it out just like I do everything else and hope it works out. To do this, you want to start by measuring your windows and finding the thinnest, most lightweight piece of plywood or project panel that you can find. Then you're going to use your leftover scrap pieces of wood from the walls and glue them on with wood glue, not liquid nails like I'm doing because it took forever to dry. Then you're just going to take your jigsaw and cut on the line that you made. I sanded it down a bit for smoothness and just nailed it into my walls. Then it was time to get the wood for the window frames, which I ended up using 1x3s and 1x4s, depending on how big the window was. And unfortunately, I did not film this part because I was under a time pressure and it just got very stressful and I forgot. This is by far the biggest project I've done in my RV so far. It completely transformed the space into the coziest cottage and actually feels like a home rather than just an RV. I am still in awe that I have created this space of my fairy tale dreams all by myself with no background knowledge or skills. So if you take one thing from my videos, it's that if I can do it, you certainly can. Please let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, thank you for being here, my loves.